of the real one.
Yeah. We done been to a couple of Shon events. They swing it in the mud. Yeah. I be out.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the livest podcast on earth. The necessary, unnecessary.
Okay. All right. Hello. And welcome to the Necessary Unnecessary podcast. I'm your host, Nip Swag. This is your host,
Frisco
in the building, and we have a very necessary guest in this thing. I mean, I'm really excited. We got Mr. Shon Murdock, the return of the real around this thing, man. What's going on? What's happening?
Finally glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Rebob, the long awaited, the long overdue. We finally get a chance to sit down and talk to you. How you doing today, sir?
I'm feeling inspired.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very inspired. You know, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be reunited in business with my friend here, Frisco. I mean, Frisco go way back, man.
Right.
I was saying, you know, I always say that. I was telling my wife that she was a really good friend of mine, and I hold her special because in the beginning of my career, even before I knew it was a career, right? I didn't even know it was a career at the beginnings. Mm-hmm. Like I cherish and treasure the people that came out for my ideas, even when there was no money involved. There was no big rap artist, no big, it's nothing like that. And she came out for me and showed me love and supported me in the beginning. I really appreciate that. So it's surreal to be on her show now. You know what I mean? 16 years later, after we both have evolved into families and business people and all of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're a Frisco kind of got this thing going. I'll be like, well, just let them know we in full support. We try and get it going and this, that, and the third, you know what I mean? So it's all good. What we finna dive into, man, you got an extensive background in the things and whatnot of these natures. I kid you not. You're maybe one of the most interesting people in the world. You feel me? You done been a lot of places. You done did a lot of things. You done met a lot of people. So where do we begin? Let's begin at the beginning.
Shoot, let me know. Shoot, what you...
Street culture. How did witnessing street culture and crime shape your life? And where are you from? Let the people know where, if you can't tell.
Right.
Well, I'm from Queens.
Yeah.
I'm from Queens. I'm from the same neighborhood like Run DMC, LL.
Mm-hmm. Christmas in Hollis.
Yeah, in the same area.
Yes, sir.
So, and then I lived a lot of different places in Queens too, right? Mm-hmm. So it's it's rough. So, you know what I mean? It definitely made me aggressive in business. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It made me very aggressive. And then it gave me a medium to say, either you could do this or you could do that. When I do some of the things that I do now, and I tell people, I make a joke all the time, like, well, at least we gotta sell drugs no more, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a joke, right? But it's the truth. It's serious.
Before he said, I hope I don't go back to slanging,
You know what I'm saying? It's not to say I was fucking being meth or nothing, but it's a serious thing to say. But some of the things that I get to do today to make money, I'm very blessed and lucky to be able to do that shit.
Okay, let's see, because that is one of the things that we finna delve into was the BMF running thing and the, you know what I mean, with Moon. Was it Moon? No, it was somebody else.
My man Wolf.
Wolf, yes, it was Wolf. So let's delve into that. You said you wish you could kind of like get some clarity or get some resolve from that situation.
Right. So I always say, I watched the BMF series, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love the story of a young black family coming up in poverty. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Coming out the mud, especially during that time. Mm-hmm. Right. I love that story. I love the story of two brothers just did whatever they had to do to change their lives, right? Mm-hmm. But as I watch the series unfold, I see the events that led up to one of the greatest opportunities that I ever had in my life being destroyed. Right? And I'm talking about my man Wolf, Anthony Wolf Jones. He was Puffy's bodyguard at the time. And me and Wolf met each other and we created a bond. We was very, that was my bro, right? And he was very interested in my music. He supported me, and he was working on, getting me signed to the Bad Boy label. Later on in life, I realized he really wanted me to sign to him because he had entrepreneurial aspirations himself. But I remember one day when I finally got back to New York, I called him and I said, yo, I'm back in town. I just saw Puff at Justin's. And I told Puff, I'm ready now. Puff said, yo, make sure Wolf bring you to me, next week or whatever.
What year was that?
I can't remember, man.
Was it the 90s?
It was right after Black Rob Whoa came out.
Okay. That was the 90s. Late 90s.
If not late 90s, early 2000s.
Thinking late 90s with the Whoa.
Late 90s? Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
All right, so I said cool. Because I had ran across Puff a few times and I never was ready. So preparation in the music industry, in business, is detrimental.
Yeah.
On your downtime, always prepare. But I was blessed to be able to run across Puffy like 3 times. Right? So this last time I ran across Puffy, I vowed that I was going to be ready, right? And then he told me that, nah, I don't want to, hear your music now. I don't want it now. You and Wolf, I know about you. You and Wolf make sure Wolf get it, and he'll play it in the Bentley. He'll play it on the plane or something like that, so I can really hear it, because I get a lot of music from people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as soon as I got home, I called Wolf, told him what happened. Wolf said, okay, I bet. He said, now's your time. I'm going to Atlanta for a week, and when I get back, I'm gonna take you to Puff. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna work this out. And then like a day or 2 later, I actually jumped in the studio real quick too to create some fresh stuff, you know what I mean? 'Cause with this new excitement, I'm back in the city.
You want the right now.
Right,
Give you the
right
best
now.
I got. Give you the Anita Baker.
Right now, because the music that I had just finished working with the producers at Dallas Austin Studio, at Dark.
Okay.
So I was running around with almost $500,000 worth of production, you know what I mean? But I wanted that street edge. I was back in the city, and then so when I was watching the news like 2 or 3 days later, and they said Puffy's bodyguard Wolf had just been killed in Atlanta. Yeah, I just saw my life just. Yeah. At the time, that's what
opportunity.
I'm thinking. Yeah, just go
so
away.
I done jumped the gun. I ain't even say this is episode 128, and I named this episode "Hindsight is 2020." And I know you got an extensive past, and I see you recognize the moments and the opportunities that you missed. But I don't want to stay there. I definitely want to cover that, but I also want to get into how you overcame in the present. So that's why the name of this episode is "Hindsight is 2020. We got Camille over there cracking drug juice. But I just wanted to get that out now. Let's go.
How did I survive that?
Yeah,
So at that time, right? I thought that was the greatest opportunity that would ever happen to me. Like at that time, you wanted to be down with Bad Boy. You wanted somebody at least in that status in the industry to notice you and want to sign you, right? And but what happened was I went through a period of sunkenness, right? I did withdraw for a while.
Depression.
Right, and I didn't.
Sometimes stuff happen and it take the wind out of you for real. When you this close to something and then that just fall through and you think that was my chance, but you gotta get it back up and keep it going. You feel me? Because that might not have been your chance.
Yeah, yes, but luckily, I had a couple of opportunities, but it just wasn't, and what I tell young artists and young business men and women is you have to be brave enough. And I'm saying this word in real time. Like you got to be brave enough to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Because it takes some bravery to reinvent yourself, especially when all your life you worked so hard for something and you had this visions that you was going to be this person and you jumped so much into that. Sometimes you have to be brave enough to step back and say, you know what, maybe that wasn't it.
I do it all the time like this.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Maybe
poof,
you
pow,
special.
got the
You
big
special.
dog.
Because a lot of people, you special. Because a lot of people don't have that skill. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that skill.
You ever seen Hood to Hood?
Nah.
Oh man, Hood to Hood. Some guy, he from San Francisco. He went from hood to hood, from all the way from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast and everywhere in between, Chicago, New York. And there was this one guy in New York, and he said, all these things don't make me who I am. I make these things happen. You know what I mean? And that stuck with me. He was way in New York. He was like, oh, X, Y, Z, and this, that, the third don't define me. I define X, Y, Z, and this, that, the third. And I don't know why that just popped with me. Like, I'll do a million things, but it's me. You know what I mean? So whatever I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. So I'll define that and make that what it is. You know what I mean? And I see that you do that a lot as far as the alcohol ventures, the event ventures, the music, like whatever it is you doing, is you doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I made it my business to create my own opportunities. Mm-hmm. But my network was the key, right? So, you know, all the people that I met, I was blessed. It was like I went from high school straight to the league. I always say that, right? Mm-hmm. I was blessed to be around a lot of shit that happened in the 90s, a lot of great, successful people that's successful now, that started in the 90s. I was blessed to be around these people, right? So I was able to use that network to come into business, and I was able to leverage that network. It took me a while to figure it out, right? Because sometimes I know people that know a lot of people, and they say, I know this person, I know that person, I know that person, right? But you have to be able to put all those people together, right? Absolutely. And be able to get what you need to get out of that network. You may not get everything from this person, you may not get everything from this person may introduce you to that person.
It's like building a team.
I heard somebody once say, it ain't about who you know, it's about who knows you.
Ooh, that's big.
That's true.
That's big.
You know what I mean?
Walking down the street like, what? No,
yeah,
that's big. That's big.
It's about who knows you.
That's big you say that because that was the attitude I had when I started to create my first marketing initiative. Mm-hmm. I invested. I knew no one didn't believe in my initiatives, right? Mm-hmm. I saw the landscape of the music industry changing, right? I saw the internet rising, right? Mm-hmm. I saw music started to become free, right? Mm-hmm. So I knew that the landscape was changing, and so I invested the last money that I had, you know, from the streets. I invested that into my first marketing initiatives, and one of those marketing initiatives was Stack Magazine. Mm-hmm. You know, right? So I wanted to prove my marketability. I wanted to prove that I always was that nigga. Mm-hmm. Y'all just didn't fucking know. Right. I always wanted to prove that I was just as dope as this nigga and that nigga and this nigga. Yeah. Matter of fact, these niggas ain't even as dope as me. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So
they just in front of y'all. More.
Right. So I had to create my own platform to prove that, and that's when I got my first liquor deal. Mm-hmm. And then my first liquor deal wasn't like a deal for a lot of money. It really was for free. It really was for free, right? But I saw the access that having that liquor provided me. It gave me access to every celebrity that I needed, every concert, every club, every show. Mm-hmm. Whatever I needed, I had access. And I'm the type of nigga, if once you let me in,
he in.
I'm in.
This is Scooby-Doo.
I'm in.
That's where you ran into the game. Is that with that first liquor sponsorship?
That wasn't the first one.
Okay.
But my first one was with Seraphin Cognac. Mm-hmm. And what took it over the edge with that was I did like a real editorial photo shoot with me in the cognac. And at that time, niggas wasn't doing that.
Okay.
I think I remember seeing these pictures.
Niggas didn't have access to that type of work at the time. It cost me a lot of money, but I believed in myself.
Right.
It was to me, it was now or never, right? It's a certain level of things you can do in life. Even when you fail, you're higher than a lot of niggas.
Right.
And that's
you gotta go all in sometimes,
Right.
poker. You feel me? I'm all in.
Right. And that was the level I was on with that. So when I did that photo shoot, it got so much attention from the liquor distributors that I started to get offers from other companies because they kept saying, "Damn, we don't gotta hire this motherfucker over here or that motherfucker. Look at this nigga, right? You know, and he has access." Right. And I loved the access. I loved it. I genuinely loved it from the heart. Like, you know what I mean? But when I was with Game, it was with exclusive vodka. It was with exclusive vodka. And I love exclusive vodka, the company to this day, because that's the first, that was the money that I had becoming a new father.
Okay.
Right?
You saw the freedom it allowed.
And a couple of those checks I got allowed me to be like a soccer dad. Like I didn't have to do nothing for a long time, but deal with him. Like, and it felt good to be able to provide every single thing your child needed. It felt good. Like that was my purpose, right? When you living in your purpose, it feels good, right? But when I went out there with Game, I was in LA. Exclusive Vodka I had booked Exclusive Vodka for a SB Awards gifting suite or something like that, and he was the host. I think he was the host, and I met him out there. And the story is crazy because I got to the venue real late because my plane was late, and I had in my mind I wanted to change and get fresh and all that, and I couldn't. So I had to go straight from the airport straight to the venue. And you know me, I'm from New York. At that time, I didn't really play it's to be respected though, but I didn't play the game.
Yeah.
It's to be respected out there.
Right.
It's part of it.
Because I spent the summer in LA, and I'm from the Bay. I had a half blue and half red Hilfiger jersey, and I was just stressing everybody out. And the first thing they say, like, "You ain't from down here." I'm like, "No, I'm in like Nipsey hood. I'm by the '60s. I spent the whole summer out there but I'm not in y'all politics. You know what I mean? For real. Yeah. But I'm not finna disrespect y'all politics like that. But I'm not in your politics.
Yeah. So it's part of their culture. But I had on a blue. I had on a blue polo shirt, striped polo shirt. I had some blue jeans, some white and blue sneakers, blue Yankee hat.
Yeah.
Which, to me, I'm styling. Like,
for sure.
So when I get there, I see him, and I know that I'm under contract because one thing the liquor companies at that day, they wanted you to take pictures with celebrities with their shit. Now it's common. But back in them days, that's what gave you that value. And I had access to all of this shit. So I went up to him, and the red carpet manager said, "Okay, Murdock, time for you to take the picture with Game or whatever." I said, "What's up?" to him. And he said, actually, sometimes celebs will take a picture holding the bottle. They don't have prior commitments. So I held the bottle out to him. He said, "Nah." He said he can't hold the bottle. So the air was thick right there. He's like, "I'm not holding that bottle." So the air was really thick. Then he looked at me and he said, "But I'll take a picture with you holding the bottle." So I turned around and I posed for the camera and I said, "Queen's in the building." Then they took the picture. So that's like the famous picture that was out for a while. It was in a couple of magazines and all of that. And it was tension between me and him because of what I said. I think when I took the picture and just my whole demeanor coming on the set was crazy because I was on my New York shit, you know what I'm saying? And to me, it was just the greatest opportunity. That's what I saw, right? And then so it was some tension, but when I got back, and I saw how happy the company was. One thing I always said, if I ever saw the nigga again, I would tell him thank you because that shit really helped me in my career.
Yeah.
At that time,
But he loved New York.
at
Every
that time,
I
shit was
see him,
important.
you know
At that
what I
time,
mean?
that shit was important. Now, at that time, he had some problems with New
East
York,
Coast.
especially
Yeah,
Queens
yeah,
niggas,
yeah.
especially Queens niggas.
Because he was beefing with 50 at
Yeah,
the time.
especially Queens
yeah.
niggas.
Back
He had
then it was
problems.
tough.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
problems with but if I ever saw him again, and if I was ever be able to talk to him, I would tell him what he did. That meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because he could have said, "Fuck you, I'm
Yeah.
not taking the picture
At all.
at all. Fuck out of it." You know what I mean?
Right,
But he
right,
didn't.
right. Yeah.
And then like I said, the check that I got, that the work that I got from that enabled me to take care of my baby boy that was just born.
We gonna rewind because you kind of glazed over the. Was you finna say something?
What you was about to say?
We gonna rewind because you kind of got into the bad boy thing. We kind of glazed over that, but almost getting the deal, or being in a situation to where it was an opportunity to get a deal with Bad Boy. Looking at the state of Bad Boy now, do you think that it was better for you not to get it, or you still feel like you would have wanted that?
Would your life have changed drastically?
And have you ever been to a Diddy party?
So soon as all of that came out, my phone got crazy.
Yeah.
Niggas like, yo, ain't you glad?
You dodged a motherfucking bullet.
Ain't you glad? But I just didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Because I really feel like any male that was in a situation with Diddy wanted that.
Oh no.
Because if you wake up with your asshole hurting,
Oh no.
and then you stay there and all of this type of shit, and
Yeah. And you keep coming back for more.
yeah, so it's right, and then
The first time might be an accident, but if you go back,
so I don't think and I don't know the specifics of a lot
It's
of
a
niggas,
habit.
right? I don't know the specifics of a lot of niggas,
Yeah.
but it's just certain things that couldn't have happened to me.
Right.
Right.
If anything, the situation that Shon got into, where he was an artist, I was running around New York trying to get signed the same time Shon was. Shon got a deal. Shon got the deal that everybody wanted. He got almost $1 million. He got a crib, apartment, or something, a car, something. It was the deal that everybody wanted. And I could just imagine someone coming from the streets or poverty or just an unfortunate circumstance to be blessed with all of this stuff, and somebody smacks the guy that gave it to you,
Right.
or something, or disrespects him. You might want to kill a motherfucker over just to show your love and your loyalty. And I think just being immature and just having that misplaced loyalty, Shon put himself in a situation that had made him have to sit down for 10 years. And I think that that's the type of situation I could have unfortunately been in.
Yeah. But he kind of blamed Diddy after the whole when he got out and he was married.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But
Yeah, yeah.
listen, this is
You know
my.
these New York niggas be knowing the truth.
I'm sure he did, but this is my opinion. You had the deal that everybody wanted. Shut the fuck up, go home, do some music,
Right.
fuck the streets,
Right.
fuck all of that. You got the deal that everybody wanted.
Absolutely.
You can change your life, you can change your family's life.
Fuck
Shut
that
the
street shit.
fuck that.
Yeah.
So
Run program.
so he got what he ordered.
Right.
He got what he ordered.
Right.
Now, Diddy at the time, in my opinion, was on the cuffs of being big as he became. You don't do that alone. You have a lot of people investing in you. You have a lot of people co-signing for you, people above. So, he had to take care of his end of the things. And I'm not making excuses for the nigga or nothing like that, right? But, I think Shon had the deal that everybody wanted, and Shon made a decision that night, and he didn't have to do that,
Right.
Yeah. He
Put
went
himself in this
over
situation.
beyond it.
right? But
Give Frisco her question, but I got a real important
but far as what you said earlier,
Yeah.
I was around that camp a few times, and I never saw any gay shit.
Uh-huh.
I never saw any
What time did you leave the
kids.
party?
I'm about to say this though. I never been to a Diddy party, right?
Uh-huh.
But I never been around any kids. I never been around no gay shit.
Yeah.
I never. He never. One of the things that I remember the few times that I did meet him and I was with him, how accessible he was at the time, right? This was early in his career. He was very accessible, and he was very, now I remember that shit, and that shit affected me for a while, like it made me feel like, you know what, I could do this. This shit is really possible for me, right? So I ain't saying the nigga's a Boy Scout, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he isn't. I'm sure he fucking isn't.
Yeah.
But I've never seen none of that shit.
Yeah,
There's nothing that I could say about that.
Right.
You know, and it hurt me when Wolf got killed because it was one of the greatest opportunities that I ever had.
Right.
And I just saw it being destroyed. So like I said, when I watched the BMF, I watched the events that led up to that night, right? And
I wonder if it's anybody that really truly benefited from a Bad Boy deal.
Been what?
Long term, that really benefited from a Bad
So
Boy
listen,
deal.
I'm gonna say this
long
shit.
term.
I'm gonna say this shit. I don't think Diddy's a Boy Scout, right?
Right.
But back in those days, nobody really knew nothing about the business. It's people way above Diddy that was really pulling on. Like nobody really knew about the business. The artists didn't know about the business. The artists didn't know about publishing. The artists didn't know about merchandising. The artists didn't know about nothing. Like we just knew hot music. We wanted to be hot
and want to be famous.
and be famous.
Yeah.
And if one check could get you a car and a place to live and all of that, that was the milestone at the time, right? But nobody really knew about the music industry.
Building an empire,
Like nobody knew about the music
that she was
business.
making was going straight back to the
So
business.
a lot of people, yeah, you're right about what you said, but I think there's a little bit of self blame too, right? You have to be about your on your business. So like even like to this day, any new venture that I go into, before I even have the meeting with the person, I do my research.
Okay. You did your research on this?
I do, of course.
Nah.
Of course. Why you think it took me so long to get over there?
You know
what I'm saying?
Y'all really don't know how to put
You know what I'm saying? I do my research.
but-
But see, as young artists,
Yeah.
we didn't do our research.
Right,
we didn't
right.
know about those things.
Yeah.
And you know, and a lot of artists back in those days got bad deals because we just didn't know. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of artists back in those days was the most famous motherfuckers around.
reading those
but was-
contracts.
You
but
get
was
the
broke.
money.
But was broke as a
They
motherfucker.
put the money in the
TLC was
bag.
You know what I'm saying? Just didn't know.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
You know,
for real.
Had all that.
But yeah. So just because someone don't know, doesn't know, that don't mean you fuck them neither though, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not saying Diddy was a Boy Scout. I'm not saying he gave the best deals and all of that.
But-
you know, Diddy really had to answer to somebody, especially at that time.
He could put
too.
you on.
And that was
Putting
Clyde
you on.
Davis. Clyde Davis was really giving those deals out.
Yeah.
That's who was pulling on the strings.
Yeah, Clyde Davis was giving those deals out.
Ask your question first.
So I want to know, because this is real big for me, and I'm sure for everybody else. FUBU, for us, by us. How did you link up with FUBU? Because
And what role did you play in-
Right, aren't
in
they
that?
trying to have a comeback and all of that?
So which question you want? How did I link up?
Okay,
with them?
first, how you linked up with them?
I always was with them. I can't even remember a day that I wasn't. Right. So some of the FUBU founders and the main people of the company, some of them are my blood relatives, some of them are my 20-year-long friends. Our families have always been intertwined. Cousins, hanging with big cousins. I was definitely the youngest out the crew. So as long as, and they let me sit around on everything. They let me sit in the office all day, as long as I sat in there with respect, right? They let me sit in on a lot of deals. They let me go on a couple trips. I had access to all the celebs that was coming through the office and all of that. So that's how I built a lot of my network too. But and then when I was mature enough and I soaked up enough business and I was able to hop out on business, I was able to come up under the moniker. You know.
And what role did you play at FUBU?
So
You just did what you could.
I'm blessed, right?
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to just be around them at that moment in time. A lot, like very close around them, like with them every day, right? So I got no credit for them becoming the cultural phenomenon to the biggest black company ever. I got no credit in that, right?
Yeah.
But some of the new things that they're doing today, because they're older now, right? And I'm ready to go, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
For
So
sure.
so some of the new things that they're doing now, I got my hands in a lot of it. And one thing that has helped me in life, you know, when people see that affiliation, it's not like they fucking, you know, B-Boy Records, nigga. They one of the biggest, probably the biggest black company of all time, the most influential 4 letters of all time. So when people see me affiliated with that, you get a different type of respect. You get a different type of business consideration. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so that alone has propelled me and helped me in business. I did a couple years ago, before COVID, I was in Augusta, Georgia. Augusta, Georgia is real synonymous with golf, with the Masters and all of that. So I created what you call the FUBU Golf Classic, where the founders came down, celebrities came down, liquor company owners, record company executives came down and played golf with me every year in Augusta.
Yeah, that's dope.
And you know, we couldn't even play that good, right? But it was just a gathering.
You don't play golf.
I
You got
wanna
on
know
that
what
golf sweater, but you don't play golf, bro.
Nah, it's very hard. It's a hard game.
Yeah.
I want to come just support you.
It's
I
a
know
hard
how to,
game.
I could get that first one. I'll knock it all the way somewhere, but after that, I don't even know
I
where the
couldn't even
ball
get the
went.
first one. So
I learned how to hold it, and you feel me? I knock
couldn't.
it, but it's like
the
after
years that we did it,
Yeah.
we stopped around COVID, right? But the years that we did it, I couldn't even hit the ball.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
won every year because the people that flew into town to come rock with me was incredible, and I created relationships that lasted for a decade, and people did business on the court.
They say
on
if
the
you want to
field.
get some real money, you better learn how to play golf.
Golf,
That's where the big money
that's where all the deals.
transactions happen on the golf
I mean, golf
course.
magazines
Feel me?
after that. You know,
Yeah,
you Google
for sure.
golf, my name is coming up. And
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that. And there's one
yeah.
picture that was in a lot of blogs and all that, and it looks like I'm Tiger Woods.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
Up at the gee.
It looks like I'm a man.
Knocking out the fire.
But that was part of marketing and branding.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted my name synonymous with golf in Augusta, Georgia,
Yeah,
right?
That's real money.
And that was part of marketing and branding. And that's one of the things that happened where I realized, you know what? I can create my own platform, my own opportunities. I don't gotta wait for somebody to give me a deal or create a situation for me.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? My network is my net worth. And I proved it every year, the people that flew in to come rock with me on that golf course.
Okay, so I was in Washington D.C. about '98 or something. I was at Howard University on a college tour. We in the dorms, look like the projects, and the guys from New York is in there. They asking me, "Who killed Biggie, man? Who killed Biggie?" And I said, "I don't know. Who killed Tupac? Like, I don't know. I'm from San Francisco. I'm not even from LA. You know what I mean?" So I want you to delve kind of into, you say Pac was out there. You know what I mean? You was around him, and you was
So-
close with Digital Underground and all the things. And,
Yeah.
you know.
So Pac in his later years, like with Death Row and all of that, I
Yeah.
never saw him again. Like,
Right.
So, and I don't know who killed Pac. I think everybody knows actually. It done came out, right? I don't know who killed Biggie, so I just want to put that.
Oh, not even the murder, the quad studio. That's the
So,
debatable.
right.
I hear Matt Hoffa talk about that with anybody who might have known anything about the quad
Right.
studio shooting, because
Right.
that kind of led to a whole bunch of other stuff.
Right.
You know what
So
I mean?
allegedly, the people that did that is locked up or whatever, but that's something that's really close to the New York streets, and you know.
Don't leave it at the New York streets.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I evolved from the streets. So it's like that. I know everything that happened, right? But yeah.
Just gonna stay in the New York streets. Long story short.
I mean, but okay, so I'll ask this though, because like Bad Boy always say that they didn't have nothing to do with that. So from a street perspective, is that the case? They had
They didn't have
nothing
nothing to do with
They
it.
didn't have nothing to do with that. And it seemed like that, and it felt like that to me. It felt like, you know what I mean?
I think they knew.
Right.
I think the people that was in the building that day, matter of fact, they knew what was going to happen, but they didn't want that type of smoke. And at that time,
And I think that's what Pac thing was. If you knew that was going to happen to me, you should have said something to me. I was just with y'all for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
at
you
that
should have
time,
gave me a heads
yeah,
up. Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
And
so I'm going to take it out on y'all because I don't even fool with them.
Nah.
I fool with y'all.
I dig that ideology too.
Yeah.
But guess what? Them niggas lived in New York and they would have had to deal with it every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? After Pac would have left New York and went back to wherever he was at, that was it.
So you just let it happen?
I think, listen, listen, including me. Guess what? Nobody wants to get shot.
Yeah, no.
Nobody wants to die.
But that's a hazard of the game, though.
Listen, but some people just ain't built like that.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I mean-
Listen, let me say that again.
say.
Some people just ain't built like that.
I'm like this. This is the type of person
Some people, everybody duck when the first shot go off, right?
I'm gonna say this.
And maybe the second.
Yeah.
And then niggas start maybe scrambling on the third. But after that third shot, you find out who's real and who's not and who's built for that, right?
I'ma
And
say
maybe they just didn't want it.
Yeah.
And that's okay though. But
But-
ain't that okay though? Ain't that okay for you to want to go home to your kids?
Nah, but I'll say that, yes, for sure. That's always the thing. That's always a thing. But I'm gonna say this. I'm not even finna have you around me if I
Yo,
ain't
you ever
finna
grew
rock
up with
all
a
the way
friend?
out.
You ever grew up with a friend that you knew was headed
Yeah, for sure.
for some shit?
Oh yeah, all the time. All my niggas.
You knew it, like
all my
you
niggas was
knew.
like, yeah. Like certain people I wouldn't get in the car with. I see two niggas and you niggas go to jail all the time. They'll get in the car with us. Nigga, you niggas going
You
to
knew
jail.
they was headed for some
Yeah,
shit, right?
I would walk.
But you know those type of niggas,
Right,
in
yeah,
your
for
life,
sure.
right? And
Yeah.
you can't tell them nothing, right? It's nothing you can
But I'm
tell
not
them.
finna be around them to be like, you feel me?
So
if
the
I'm gonna have them
listen,
around
the studio they was in that night,
me. Yeah.
everybody was there.
Yeah.
It's a studio that has different studios on different floors.
Right.
So it's not like they invited him to come to that. He had business going on with someone else at the studio, Jimmy
Right.
Henchman. He had business going with them. Bad Boy was just in this. They was just happened to be in a different suite recording, doing their thing. So it's not like they called them over there for something that happened to him.
I believe Big didn't know.
Big,
Yeah.
that
I'm gonna leave it at that.
I think they all at one point they all knew something
Yeah.
was going to happen.
I
I don't think they knew that the Pacifics. Matter of fact,
I
what was
think
going to
Big told
happen?
him to stop hanging with them niggas. You run around with too many niggas, like you
He
know what I
did.
mean. So that was in the Disney version of the Notorious
no, 'cause the-
Views
no,
movie.
no,
you know
no,
what I mean?
yeah,
He
yeah.
said that in there, and I believe that. You know what I mean? You don't need to be running around with these niggas, and you need to listen to your folks. If they telling you if this who you really fool with, if they tell you not to fool with somebody, you need to take heed to that. You know what I mean?
My man, God bless the dead, Stretch was with him.
Yeah.
He was one of the dudes that was with him. So I know a lot
Yeah.
about what happened.
Right,
Me and
right,
Stretch family is
And
cool
see, I
to this
don't.
day. Like I know about what happened. And
Right? I don't really want.
so it was a
to
mixture. It was a mixture between, you know, niggas didn't set them up, none of that. But some niggas just not built for that for that type of action. Right.
I ain't got nothing to do. I know a lot of I ain't got nothing to do with it ass niggas. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's horrible.
But you know what I mean? If you in the game and you portraying to be in the game and you in certain settings and you in certain things, if you let certain stuff go by, then you're not in the game. You shouldn't have been, you need to sit down. You need to stay in the house. You need to, solidify yourself as a civilian, not as a gangster did if you're not going to
So you
participate
think
in certain
you think
things.
You think Big? It's a question for you. You think Big portrayed a gangster role?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
I think
not.
when he
Tupac
first
did.
started, he did.
Tupac
I think
did
they
more
changed
thug, gangster,
I think they
more
changed
thug.
his image once he went mainstream. But I think when he initially was up on the block, in the block, in the boogity bop, you know what I mean? Who shot you? And these are gangster things. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm from this place. If you claim any block, you are in the game. It ain't.
Now,
It
if
ain't
you selling
no,
drugs, you selling drugs.
Yeah,
But a
it ain't no
killer-
such thing as halfway crooks.
being a
Ain't that
killer
what
and
they
a drug
say?
dealer.
Two
Look,
different things.
being a killer.
But the game encompasses everything.
No,
You're susceptible to anything that the game has
being
if
a
you're
killer,
in the game.
being a killer and a drug dealer is different.
I was a player, but I was subjected to
Am I right
other
or wrong?
killing
But
shit.
am I right or wrong? Being a killer
mean-
and drug. You got some broke killers out here.
Right. But
that's broke, and they may kill you not because they even want your money. They just don't want you to fucking have it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say from the 90s to the 2000s. So it started off the game. It had pockets. You was a pimp. You was a hustler. You was a gangster.
Well, see,
you
that's
was
what
a this,
rap.
You was
That's
a
the
that.
that's the
But
bad
now
part
it's
about
like
rap in
everything.
the '90s, though.
You feel me?
That was the bad part about rap in the '90s. That's the bad part about our culture, especially in our era, right? We were sold a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. I didn't go to New York till I was way past
feel me?
grown. just
We were
'cause I grew
sold
up
a
in
lot
the
of
East Coast,
bullshit.
West Coast
We were
rivalry.
sold a lot of bullshit, and a lot of shit is coming out now today.
Yeah.
Right? We were sold a lot of bullshit. And some of the same shit that we were sold, that we celebrated in the '90s. Now a lot of people looking at it like, damn, that was some bullshit.
Right. That's what I'm gonna say.
That was some bullshit.
I didn't go to New York till I was in my 30s because I grew up in the 90s and that East Coast, West Coast rivalry. Like, oh, I'm too West Coast. I'll be instantly killed if I go to New York. But when I went to New York, I'm like, I love it out here. You know what I mean?
Yo, let me tell you
feel
something. LA is one of my favorite places.
Right. And I feel like the media
I
kind
bet it is.
the
You know what I'm
media
saying?
kind of divided us, and it kept a lot of people from making, you know what I mean, those connections, and it divided us even more than we already divided before. So, you know, I'm against the whole East Coast, West Coast thingamajiggy, but I grew up in it. You know what I mean? So I had a lot of questions. I'm like, okay, what happened? Why did this happen? What's going on?
Yeah, man. So, yeah, just to reiterate, you know,
We gonna let Frisco ask the question.
That's
I needed to know that. You know,
He's on the road, man.
that street shit. And
Yeah.
I've evolved from that.
I had to evolve from that too. I got a book called The 7 Inceptions of Change: How to Supersede the Game, because it really ain't no out. I don't know what's going on. How to supersede the game, because it really ain't no out. You know what I mean? You have to rise above it so much to where it doesn't affect you. You know what I mean? If you was raised in it, it becomes a part of you. You know what I mean? And I like do so much research and so much work on myself to where I had to lose the mentality of this is the first thing I think of when something happens. You know what I mean? Because I'm living by these rules. I don't have to live by these rules every day, because that subjects me to everything that comes along with living by them rules.
Yeah, I've evolved from that shit. And,
Yeah.
you know, fuck that shit.
Well, since you've evolved from that shit, some people apparently have not evolved from that shit. So I want to ask you, what is your view on T.I. and 50 Cent beef? 'Cause I know what side I'm on.
Oh no. Oh no.
Do you know 50 Cent? Have you met him before?
Yeah.
That was not in the pre-approved. Was that on the list of the questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's go.
I think both of them are legends in the game.
Yeah.
You know, well,
For sure.
yeah.
Important cultural figures.
I think T.I. definitely carved his place in history and did a lot for the South. I think he deserved a lot more credit for what he did for the South, because I was in New York when T.I. voice first hit us. And trust me, it was some shit, right? And just the imagery of a country nigga was, you know, what we saw, it really shaped how we viewed the whole shit, right? So I think T.I. is an icon. I love how T.I. I think, don't quote me, was one of the first niggas to do a family reality show where he had his family.
I think he was.
Right?
He was.
I respect that shit like a motherfucker, right? I respect that.
Did Ron do it first though? Ron might have did it first with Ron's house.
Maybe, yeah, Ron. Okay.
Ron's house.
But he was up there, though, right?
Ron's house.
But he was up there, right?
Yeah.
And then he's still with his wife and all of that.
Absolutely.
I respect that. I respect his longevity and what he did for the South, because he did a lot, right? And then T.I. and then 50 definitely carved his own lane, and he had a great moment in time, right? I come from an era of hip hop. I love hip hop beef, right? As long as it stays hip hop.
Right.
Once it starts going outside of the music and shit like that, then it gets dangerous and it gets bad.
Right.
Right.
Nobody want to see that for real.
Nah, because especially when you two brothers with kids,
Right.
and you fulfilled your dreams, you're making money, and you've evolved on the streets like both of them have, right?
Absolutely.
It's why die or go to prison over that shit?
Right.
At this point in life, right? It would be a disaster. I think both of them niggas is around 50 years old.
For real.
Right? It would be a disaster if one of them niggas went to jail for
Right.
20 years right
50.
now. Right? So, but I like hip hop beef. Hip hop is competitive. I love the competitive spirit of hip hop. I don't think hip hop would be the same if it wasn't for a competitive spirit. It wouldn't be the same if somebody didn't say they was better than somebody.
Back with Cool Mo D and them was
You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be the same. But as long as it stays hip hop, I think there's some things in that beef that have gone too far.
Yeah.
But I fuck with
Women and
battle.
children should be, you know what I mean?
I fuck with battle rap. So you
Yeah.
know,
50 not dropping no diss track.
niggas say
He not doing
anything
that.
in battle rap, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's the essence of hip hop and,
Right,
and the
right.
competitiveness.
Absolutely.
So if they can get to the music and all of that, I think it's great. I think it's great, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I got respect for both respective brands and artists and where they are and what they did for the culture in their place and time.
That's dope.
I guess.
All right, Sean. We're going to see what your necessaries and unnecessaries is about hindsight being 2020.
What you saying? What you asking?
What's your necessary about hindsight being 2020?
Hindsight being
What's your
2020.
necessary
Like when
and
I look back?
unnecessary? Yeah.
The necessary.
What's necessary about that and what's unnecessary about
I should have spent more time concentrating on the things that matter, because the only thing that really matters in life is love and family. When you strip away all of that bullshit, nigga, I know everybody. Everybody know me. My access is crazy. The accomplishments that I've made is crazy. Especially when I look at my personal journey, because you got to base your success on your personal journey. I used to stand on the corner every day, right? Didn't know how I was going to get off the corner. Like I knew that I wanted to, right? And I had this vision, but I didn't know how it was going to happen, right? And I blocked everything out for about 15, 20 years, and I didn't care about nothing else but the next play. And what's the next play? And then knocking down this play and then going to the next play. And I lost out on everything in life that matters. Everything just passed me by. I was lucky to be in the fourth quarter, and I'm blessed to be in the fourth quarter to be able to meet my wife
Oh yeah.
in the fourth quarter. Like
What up, Cool?
Ah, she's like, oh my God.
I was-
Wifey is here. This
Yeah.
you know.
I was going into overtime, and I was lucky. I was blessed to be able to, because it just gave me a whole new energy in life. When you find your partner, she's not only my partner in life, she's my partner in business, and she just complete me in a lot of circles, right? So
The equally yoked.
I was lucky for that. But most people, a lot of people don't get that type of blessing and luck, right? So, I feel like everything that I went through at that time in life built me up for that moment for her, right? So, and I had a lot of motherfucking money.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's like I was saving all my money for this right moment that probably was never going to come, right? And then, you know, because it feels good to live in your purpose. And, you know, your purpose as a man is to nurture, love, and provide, right? For the ones you love. And that's when you really feel good and you really become successful.
Yes, sir. Amen.
Love you too.
You got a necessary and unnecessary
Shut
about
up.
hindsight being 2020?
You caught me off guard.
The streets, man. I definitely would not have fucked with the streets.
But that made you who you are, though.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
wish I
mean?
could have went a different route, right?
Yeah.
I spent years too. I spent maybe 5 years. I wasted 5 years. Well, a lot of people say it shaped me, but you know, like the strip club work. I worked in a strip club for 5 years, and that probably was one of the most detrimental things that ever happened to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that we don't know what it takes for us to become who we going to become. Like all those experiences are never for naught. You know what I mean? Like you said, when you was, I used to be in the Jets every day, and I didn't know nothing because this was all I seen, but I knew it had to be something more than this. Like it gotta be something more than like this. Just can't be it.
See, I was lucky, right?
You know
I was
what I
blessed.
mean?
I knew it was more than this
Because you was the Army, bro. You was going around to different places and stuff.
I was
Until
able
I
to live.
came out here in '96 and started going on college tours and stuff, I really didn't know much different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I had to travel to see it's different stuff. It ain't gotta be just like this all the time.
Right. I did a couple of years in Germany,
Okay.
and then I did a couple of years in Germany, and I was very unhappy. I was young and immature. I didn't really know the blessing it was to be able to live in Europe, and I was very unhappy. My mother she knew that I just wanted to go back to Queens. Like I wanted to get back home, right? And my mother made a deal with me. She said, if you graduate this year, I've been saving some money for you. I'll give you all the money, and I'll send you back to Queens to be with your cousins on Murdock, if that's what you want to do, right? So I said, cool. So she said, just come to this last place with us, and I'll do that for you. So I went. I left the house on a Friday. A couple months later, I came home Sunday. She was dead, and I was in Oklahoma, and I was stuck. And I was stuck out there for years. And that's when I got immersed in that West Coast, that Midwest culture.
Thing.
I gained a lot of respect for the Midwest and West Coast gang culture.
You can man.
Yeah, and then you know, and then when I got back to New York, it was kind of confusing to me because, you know, everybody was Bloods and Crips, and it was really confusing to me because
They start doing this in New York.
because you know, that Blood and Crip shit was part of them niggas' culture.
Yeah, they
out
for
there.
real. They
They didn't,
serious
some of them
about
niggas
that.
woke up Bloods and Crips. They
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
even
for
fucking
sure.
know how it happened. Like,
Yeah.
it was part of their culture.
Yeah.
And I it was niggas that I knew, I grew up with, and I knew wasn't
That's not
from
your
that
culture.
culture.
Right.
And how did this happen? Not to say this shit ain't serious. Nigga
Nah,
won't-
get real.
Nigga won't blow your top off, but
Yeah.
I just didn't understand that.
Where
right?
did it
Right,
come
right,
from? How did it get to the East
Yeah,
Coast?
See,
yeah.
we never did that in the Bay Area for real like that though.
Only the
You know what I
Hispanics.
mean? And
Only
we
the
in
Hispanics.
California. And we still
Yeah,
didn't subscribe to that. We got enough problems with this turf politics.
If anything,
shit.
it's just more of where you're from. It's not about colors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Only
got
the
it.
Hispanic culture really is with the colors, not the black culture.
Okay. My necessary about hindsight being 2020 is to learn from everything you ever went through, good, bad, ugly, exceptional, and all these things. My unnecessary is to dwell and ponder and to have regret about things that have already happened because it will kind of hinder you from your future, I think. You know what I mean? So,
I regret that I wasn't home that night. I probably could have saved my mother's life.
right.
That shit plagues me.
I mean, some stuff gonna stick with you always, for real. You know what I mean? But you just gotta know that we still moving forward. Cause I done lost a lot of people. Like I just didn't know how I was just gonna go. You know what I mean? But at the time, it's like I really can't do nothing about it. So I use that as motivation to continue because I know this person wouldn't want me to be like so consumed with the fact that they're going that I did not continue with what they were supporting me in while they
Yeah, I
were
always say
here.
that. You got to
know
take
what
care
I
of your
mean?
mother's work. So I always say that I can't get caught up, you know, in other people's shit.
Yeah.
I gotta take care of my mother's work.
Right.
My mother worked hard to put me in position to make these plays. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta
love my
take care of
cousin
her
like
work.
3 years ago this month, and that boy used to always say, "Kid, you need to be doing your own thing. You need to be doing your own thing. You do you this, you that. You always doing this. You need to be doing your own thing." He was not playing about that. You sitting up there going to you people's job every day. You miserable as hell. You need to be doing your own thing. And when he passed, I said, "Dude, I need to be doing my own thing."
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I would say I've traveled a lot. I've met a lot of different people over the years. And I always tell young people when I meet them at my job, experience the world. Go out, travel, meet different people, experience different cultures. Because it's not just the United States. There's so much more in the world offered to people. And I meet so many young people, they're like, really? I never thought about. Listen, that was one of the best things I could have done is travel.
Right.
Study abroad. I studied abroad in London for 6 weeks. Best experience of my life. It opens your eyes to so much. So I always tell people to travel.
Yeah, right. After, you know, I came back to the block from, you know, traveling, I was just so much ahead of everyone.
Exactly.
And a lot of niggas knew I was different. And
Right, exactly.
And a lot of niggas would pull me to the side and say, something about you was different.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? And
I was that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it helped. It definitely helped my networking develop, because networking is a skill, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It definitely developed my networking, my networking skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, because you know when you in the military family, every 2 years or 3 years you move to a different location, so you gotta be able to put it down everywhere you go every 2 or 3 years, and maybe, like, you know what I'm saying. So that really helped me. It's probably no environment or atmosphere that I'm nervous in or scared or anything like that. I'm always the same dude, and with that era of confidence.
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, Shon. We gotta have you back though for part two.
Yo,
So much more to
for part
talk
two. Let's do it over dinner, man.
Okay.
So I can talk some business.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Definitely.
Tell-
I'm always about the biz.
Before we leave, I know you got something coming up. Tell the people you got anything coming up in the next week, month.
So now, be on the lookout for the new Fubu drops. The new Fubu drops. Fubu
We
never
need some
sold,
of that.
Never sold the company, right? So be on the lookout for that. And I'm doing a live conversation series. I'm doing a live conversation series in Atlanta. I did a few already. And so be on the lookout for my live conversation series. Yeah.
Tell them where they can find you so we can find this information.
On Instagram at Return of the Real One. The Return of the Real One.
Return.